Hey everybody, it's MarVeena, and I wanted to welcome you to my Facebook Live today. So this is an opportunity for you to post your questions that you might have for your angels and just write them down in the comments on the sidebar, and I will see if I can get any messages from your angels or from my angels to relay to you. We're also going to be doing a little talk about the angel of death, who is known as the Archangel Azrael. And if you have any questions about this angel, you can post those in the comments below too. And before I get started, I just wanted to invite you to share this Facebook Live with any of your friends that you think might benefit from a connection with the angels today. And I will be giving away a free 30-minute reading to the person who shares the most. So be sure and share it out with people that you think would be interested and that might need to have a connection to their angels. And if you would like to, you can sign up for my updates on the page right above. It's on my Facebook page. And when you sign up for my newsletter, every week I send out a notice of when I'm going to be doing live events like this one, but I have other events as well. And if you'd like to be notified whenever I go live or when I do events around you, then you can just, then I'll let you know through my newsletter. And I also include my 21-day Angel Connection program, and that is a free program. Every day I send you a short little email, and it just kind of gives you some ideas of different things that you can do to create a closer connection to your angels. So the more that we're able to communicate with our angels, they can kind of clue us in on the different things that we can do to help us really stay focused with our soul's highest path, plan, and purpose. I believe the angels are emissaries from the Holy Spirit, and they are with everybody. To me, it doesn't even matter what kind of religion that you have, or even if you're atheist. We all have angels that keep us surrounded from the time we're born until the time that we die. But they don't force their influence on us. And so when we really make it our business to create a stronger connection and a relationship with our angels, it helps to invite them to share some ideas that we can use to help us navigate our soul journey. So for those of you that are particularly feeling a little bit lost and frustrated, or working with problems of depression, or feeling like you've kind of come to a wall in your life, then I think it would be particularly useful for you to make some time every day to meditate, to pray, to create a relationship, especially with your most holy guardian angel. And this can be a source of comfort, but it can also be a huge source of inspiration and encouragement that can really support you and help you to kind of break up whatever the stagnant pattern is that is no longer serving you. So I wanted to say hello to everybody. Thank you for hopping on. I do have quite a few questions, but first of all, I wanted to do a brief presentation about the Archangel Azrael, and I'm going to be on until 2 o'clock if all goes well, and I will be doing a free giveaway for a 30-minute angel reading to at least one lucky person, maybe more. So whoever shares out the most is going to receive a free angel reading. And I do record them on an MP3, so if you want to listen to them later, you can. So welcome everybody. Thank you for stopping by today. And if everybody would just connect to your own angels, ask them to sit with you in the session. And I believe that the angels are just incredible about being able to answer several people's questions with one answer. So hold your ideas in your heart, the things that you would really like to hear about and that you would like to know more about, and just trust that the universe, the Holy Spirit, and your own angel crew will help you to get an answer to whatever question that you have on your mind. One thing I think is important is that you be in vibrational harmony to the truth of the matter. And because it's like if you get your kind of your mindset that you want to hear what you want to hear, then it blocks you from being able to receive anything, and especially the truth of the matter. So just hold it in your heart that whatever is on your mind, and just trust that the angels can help to bring to you some sort of a connection to a special loved one on the other side, or one of your angels, or a little bit of insight that can help you to move past whatever challenges you're working with right now in your life, or whatever obstacles or problems that you're facing. So be sure and put your questions in the comments on the side, and I will see what I get. One thing that they're wanting me to talk to you about is that it's the idea of death, and that's why I'm doing the Archangel Azrael, which is known as the Angel of Death. And they really want you to get it on your mind that death is not the end. It is, it's kind of like we're on one stage right now while we're focused in the physical. And when we go through the process of the death of the physical, it's like we're walking out of this stage, but we're walking right into another stage or another astral plane that is part of the Holy Spirit. It's part of God or goddess, or however you think of creation. And it's just another astral plane and a place for us to experience life. But instead of focusing through the physical, and that's what we are all focused through right now, is through the physical expression. But in other astral realities, we use our astral body in order to work with whatever is there, and to position ourselves, and to learn, to grow, to interact with other beings, with other members of the angelic realm, and with each other. So while we're here, this is a very unique place because of this physical quality, and it's a particularly powerful dimension for us to make some huge strides in our soul's evolution, because we have this sense of separateness from the Holy Spirit, and we have to work our way back to alignment with creation from a place of faith and trust. So it's very unique. It's a powerful place for us to work with anything that is that our soul is working with, that is like a karmic piece of business, unfinished things that we might have started in other dimensions. And it helps us to really resolve those issues and to refine our soul to a higher place of consciousness. So this dimension is particularly powerful and useful to us, but always know in your heart that this is just one place for us to express ourselves and for us to live. And also know that when one of your loved ones crosses over, that you will reunite with them later down the road, but it is not like a permanent separation. So the angel Azrael is a very, very powerful archangel, actually. There are many different angelics in the spirit world that help to kind of hold creation together, hold this reality that we're using, and to kind of serve as God's emissaries. And so the archangels are ones that work with the human world and help us to have this particular experience, as well as many other experiences in the other astral planes. But there are many different angels and archangels and angelic spirits that kind of create and help to hold the vision for the Holy Spirit. So they're all a part of creation. They're not separate from the Holy Spirit, and they serve the will of God, is one way to look at it. And I know there are many different ways to look at it, but to me, that simplifies things. So Azrael is not just the angel of death, but he works with us on any big initiations or big kind of like the initiation of birth, the initiation of death, but also when we're going through really traumatic times in our life, like a divorce or a loss of a loved one, or moving from one place to another, all kinds of traumatic transitions. The angel Azrael can help us to embrace that change and to kind of zen with that change and that chaos, and make the most of that the energy, and help us to move through that piece of business in a beauty way. He is also present for every human birth, and helps to there are a lot of angels that come in with every birth, and they want to help that soul to be able to get into the physical world and in a protected way, and to go right into the physical body that has been kind of planned for it, because every birth is set up, it's planned before we ever come into this dimension. And the souls kind of go over with their guidance team what sorts of physical characteristics do they need for this particular soul journey, what kind of socio-economical structure and background do we need to kind of set ourselves up for the perfect experience here, to help us really navigate and see what we need to witness as a soul, and have the interactions that we have kind of pre-designed. Here are the big pieces of business that I want to witness and that I want to participate in. And our karma angels make sure that we are weaving into every soul journey any pieces of unfinished business, so that we have an opportunity to work through those unrefined pieces, and to kind of move through them from a higher place of integrity and impeccability. So we choose our parents, and we choose the area that we're born into, including really traumatic or potential, devastating times. It's like we have an idea for the different initiations that we want to be a part of and be birthed into and experience. And sometimes those are very dramatic circumstances. We might even label them as a horrible circumstance or a sad circumstance, but it's important for us to be objective as much as possible, also to be compassionate, but just to entertain the idea, for whatever reason, that that particular soul chose those parents and that time and that place and that situation for a good reason. So the angels and the archangel Azrael, they want to make sure that the soul that's incoming, it's like coming through a portal from the Holy Spirit, and the mother is serving as what you could think of as a stargate, and helping to be like a bridge between the astral planes and this physical dimension. So it is a really amazing time, and quite an amazing opportunity for the soul to have this opportunity to come into a physical expression. And it's thought of as like an initiation. And you might have, I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but it's said that when a baby is birthed into this dimension, or a new soul comes in, that the angels cry. And sometimes I think they do that because they know that when we move into beyond this veil, that we're in that kind of that place of the unknown, and our challenges and our obstacles. So they know that sometimes it might be hard for us. But whenever we make the death journey and we go back to the other side, that they rejoice, because they know then that we're in a place where we can understand our connection to creation, to the Holy Spirit, and to each other too, and that we understand the hardships that we might have experienced, or the different traumatic things that we might have witnessed while we're here. So it's interesting that we are very protected, and we're witnessed from a lot of angelic spirits when we go through our different dramas and traumas and hardships. So for those of you that are going through some sad times right now, if you can just send out a little message to your angelic crew that that you're happy to have their support and their ideas to help you move through your challenges in a good way, and to embrace them, and to be able to overcome them from the highest place of integrity and impeccability that you can. That helps you to break the patterns that are no longer serving you, is whenever you can have that mindset of making decisions for the big picture, for the long term, for the community, rather than just from your ego and what might serve your ego. So the Archangel Azrael also has a twin flame counterpart who is known as the Archangel Zara. So it's like Sarah, but it's with a Z. And I think it's an awesome name. So they have a spiritual retreat, and it's on the ethers, and it's located in the United Kingdom, right around Wales. It's like that's a place that if you were to visit there, that you can have like a pretty strong access to their energy and their teachings, what they can help us to learn about the different challenging initiations that we go through in life, and how we can face them in a good way, and how we can make a win from them. But a lot of us can't travel to the United Kingdom, but not to worry, because if you are going through different, what you might think of as initiations, or somebody close to you might have passed away, and or somebody is coming into this dimension, just send out a a message by your angels that you would like to connect to the Archangel Azrael and to his twin flame, the Archangel Zara, and you would love to have their attention directed to your situation and have any ideas that they can share with you that could help you to embrace whatever is going on with you right now and be able to face it head on and to move through it in a beauty way. That I think that always helps us whenever we're willing to face our challenges, and we're willing to deal with them instead of trying to run away from them. A lot of people over the years have had visions of the Archangel Azrael, and sometimes they might see this Archangel surrounded with black and maybe wearing like a cape with a hood and holding the like the sword or the sickle. I think some of them call it the angel of death, or the what is the other, there's another term for it, but I think that this sickle or scythe, it's like it's symbolic of a tool that helps us to cut the ties that bind us to ways of living, thinking patterns, attachments to things that are not serving our highest soul good. And the black robe is often, it emanates from white from the inside. And so this is one of the angels that can appear in that way, or maybe appear in a golden yellow. It just depends on perspective and maybe what that person is working on, but they help us to transcend our illusions at that time. So I have some questions that came in about the angels. Let me see what we have over here. Okay, so someone wanted to ask about what angel they might see if they were to die by fire. Like for people that might, everybody chooses different initiations by the elements at different times in our soul journey. Not you might go through a whole soul journey and not that not be a part of the journey. But for those who make their death transition through the element of fire, the Archangel Gabriel will come in with the Archangel Azrael to help you to heal of any trauma or any anything that is unfinished about that whole dramatic event, help you to kind of process and understand why that particular soul chose to go out in that way. When somebody crosses with, like by water, like a flood or drowning, any type of a death by water, there is a very special master known as Poseidon. And I know that there is there's like a movie on now that talks about this energy, but it's actually a very highly evolved, illumined master teacher that we think of as Poseidon. And this is a masculine energy. It helps us to embrace the element of water and what we learned about the transition to from the physical back into the astral world through this element. For those of you who might have crossed with like an earthquake or anything in the like a landslide or a mudslide or anything to do with earth, then the Lady Gaia, who is an angel of the planet Earth, a very, very highly evolved angelic spirit, and she greets us and helps us to process any trauma that we might be having a hard time dealing with by going through the death process in that way. We're always going to be greeted by an evolved angelic, an archangel, and our own teams of guides, teachers, and angels, and our own guardian angel. Anytime that we cross over, there's very rare circumstances where we might not embrace the angelic. So that might occur if a person is just very connected to the earth plane, or they might be connected to their children, a loved one that is still here, or they might be very worried about making the transition and losing their connection to that person. And in those rare cases, they will be attended by angelic spirits, and until they kind of make up their mind that they're ready to move on into the light. But they're not forced to. Those spirits are what we might think of as a like a trapped soul, or a ghost, or someone that is like a lost soul. So whenever someone whenever somebody close to you passes away, one of the biggest gifts that you can give them is to just create the idea or the intention in your mind that it is okay for them to go on into the light, to embrace the light, and to accept their angels' assistance in moving on into the astral plane and connecting back to the Holy Spirit. If you can hold that space for them, especially if you think that they might be vulnerable, like they might have been in a state of mind that was very fragile before they crossed, or they might have died in a traumatic way, or if you just feel that they are in a very sensitive or fragile state, then make sure that you do some extra ceremony and prayer work, and just ask that the angels help to work with them, and mentally, either in your mind or out loud, just say, it's okay to go into the light. And I know some of you might think that means that they're leaving you, but actually it is it's a blessing to them, because they can go through their initiation into the other dimensions. And then once that is completed, then they have the opportunity that they can come back and they can visit you and spend time with you from time to time. Okay, so I had a few questions. Thank you, everybody, for hopping on. It's awesome to see. Hey, Lisa. Hi there. I can't see the names very close, but so Cindy Jingle, is it Johannan? She wants to know if she has angels. So yes, Cindy, you have angels. You may not be aware of them around you. And if you're not, then it's there's a lot of different ways that you can create a closer connection to them. And this is not going against God. It's not going against the Bible or the scriptures by working with your angels, because they work for creation, for the Holy Spirit. So everything they do, it's like none of it is against creation or God or the Holy Spirit, but just create the time daily to do something to spend time with your angels. So in the morning, you might meditate and just ask your angels to sit with you, to help you sort out the different things that are going on in your life, to help you to work through those pieces of business from the highest place of integrity that you can. If you have things that are particularly problematic to you, ask them to help you kind of figure that piece of business out. And you will be amazed at some of the turns of event that they can help to strategize. But I think they need your permission in order to be of assistance like that. Or when you create the intention that you're willing to work with them, it just sets it up so that they have like a better line of communication with you, and you're just more aware of how they talk to you. Often the angels, they might give you a lot of ideas or messages while you're sleeping, while you're driving, while you're meditating, maybe while you're praying, while you're cleaning the house or working, or there's so many different ways that they give us insight. And quite often it comes just out of the blue. It's like you're minding your business, and next thing you know, you just have a bit of an epiphany about something that's going on in your life, and you just feel how this would apply to whatever event you've got going on, or whatever piece of business that is uncomfortable for you. And it's like you just get this sense of knowing what you need to do, and you have the kind of like the stamina or the nerve to go activate that idea. And what do you know? It works out like a charm. They might also give you a little bit of a message through the animal kingdom, even through the mineral kingdom. So you might see like a beautiful bird that comes out of nowhere, and it might have a very unusual habit, like come and sit really close to you, or sit in a place that normally birds don't come. It might be a bird or a color that was particularly associated with somebody special to you. So when you see those little signs, and the angels use a lot of different signs to communicate with us. And I have a whole angelic program that talks about the signs, the symbols, the clues that the angelic world uses to get our attention. But it's up to us to take that sign and to kind of work with that idea and see how what situation it might apply to, and just accept it without feeling like we're making it up, or it's just hocus pocus, or nobody's going to believe this. It doesn't really matter. Honestly, I think our relationship with our highest guardian angel and our angelic guides, and even our loved ones on the other side, and the Holy Spirit, that's personal between us. And nobody else needs to believe the messages that you get that have brought peace to you. It's important for us to, at some point in our soul journey, to step up into our power and just acknowledge that I felt this, or I experienced this, and I know it was my angel or my guide or my grandmother or my dog or my horse or whoever, without waiting for MarVeena or somebody else to say, yes, that was your grandmother. So yes, Cindy, you have angels that came in with you when you were born, and they will be with you throughout your whole journey. And their goal is to help you stay on purpose, for what you came here to do, to really let yourself experience this physical dimension and all of this rich human interaction that we can, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and to learn the best that we can from it. It's like if we don't really let these lessons sink in, that we haven't made the most of our journey. The way I kind of look at it is like every once in a while, my husband and I will go to Hawaii or Alaska or somewhere, and we don't go that often. So when we go, it's like we want to do all of the different little side excursions that we can, and we want to just make the most of the trip because it's a long way from Texas, and I don't particularly like to fly. So when we do get there, we don't want to miss anything. We want to really do as much as we can to really soak up everything that place has to offer. And that is the way that our soul looks at this time here in the physical. All right, so I have another question here. Martha Graves wanted to know, do we know our angels' names? So Martha, that is a good question. Most of the time, if you have a name for your angel, it kind of amounts to what you might think of as a nickname, because their angel names are they're really strange. Like they are from our ego perspective, it's like they're not that comprehensible. They're just kind of sounds and tones that are very far out, but they represent the vibration that angel represents. So if we do get a name for them, and we don't need to have a name for them because they don't care, and they understand the limitations of the human experience and the sound waves and how we receive sound and how we interpret that. So they don't need to be called by a particular name in order for them to work with us, to hear us whenever we have a message, or to make a difference to them. But often we will have maybe what we think of as a nickname, and that is perfectly fine. And it's perfectly fine if you just ask. And this is what I do a lot, is I say, I invite my angels of light who love me to sit with me in this ceremony or in this prayer or this meditation, and to assist me in interpreting whatever situation is going on. So that is a really nice little prayer that helps you to kind of connect with your crew. And when you put that little caveat on there about angels who love me, I think that's important too, because that's a protective measure that sort of weeds out any spirits that might be like you think of as Yahoo spirits. So we don't want to work with Yahoo spirits. And by being discerning, that is how we eliminate the chance of ugly spirits kind of trying to sneak in and be a problem to us. So Kimberly Dawson wanted to know, should I travel extensively by boat for the purpose of photographing different countries? So Kimberly, if when you got these ideas or these dream childs of things that you would like to experience, your angels are they're not going to say, oh, this is right or this is wrong. It's like if if you have a strong desire to be a part of some sort of experience, and in this case, it's like the idea of traveling by water and of participating and witnessing a lot of different scenery and ways that people live, and to photograph, to capture those ideas, if it just speaks to your heart, then just create that intention to be a part of that, and your angels will get on board and they will help you with the details. And they are excellent coordinators in that way because they know everybody. They have angels or friends all over the world that can help you to kind of smooth over some of the details. Now, if, for instance, that trip is something that is not in harmony with your soul's highest path, plan, and purpose, then circumstances would just keep getting in the way that would make it not happen. And I think that this is a good time to really create the intention to be in vibrational harmony with your soul's highest path here. When we can do that every morning, just say, today I intend to be in the sweet spot of my soul's path. It helps us to line up our energy better and more powerfully and more effectively. And honestly, I think it creates a better flow for our life circumstances. And it's like things happen easier. We experience more joy, more ease in creation of whatever we're doing. So when you find yourself hitting yourself up against the wall, like over something that you want to do, sometimes we just have to give it up to God and just kind of reevaluate, maybe ask the Holy Spirit and the angels to give you some insight into why this idea is, it's like goes against your path, or, and it might be a timing thing too. That could well be the situation. So I really feel like there's a perfect time and a place for everything. But when we just create that intention to be in our soul's path, it just makes it easier for the angels to help us. And it's like our life flows better when we do that. If you ever get into a situation where you just feel like nothing is working right, that maybe things are against you, then you want to do some reflection and ask your angels to sit with you and help you to work through whatever karmic pieces that might be unfolding, to help you really get the life lessons that that others have brought to you for whatever reason. Make sure that you're letting those lessons sink in. And if you're not, then they're going to wrap back around. So I'm going to take another question here. Let me see. Monica wants to know who, what, where should I align myself in order to make a significant difference in this world? So Monica, that is a really good question. So who, what, and where? Okay. Well, your angels are a great start because they know everybody, like I talked about before. So they can help you to make connections that can be really meaningful to you. But I would just create the intention to follow my soul's highest path. And the way, to me, the way that unfolds in your energy system is follow what has heart, what has meaning to you, and just the ideas that you light on, that you read about, or that you talk about, or that you dream about, and just follow what has heart, what has meaning for you. And as long as it feels meaningful and it feels like it's enriching to your soul, then it's like you are going down the road that will help you to meet people that can be important to you. It might, or you might be important to them. Like what you have to say might be encouraging or inspirational to them. But it's just by following that bliss that we're setting ourselves up to be where we need to be, to maybe witness something that our soul really came here to be a part of. And it might be like the one thing that your soul needs to wrap up before it can move to a whole higher level of consciousness and awareness. And by following our bliss, it leads us to that road where we can make a difference. But I would just create the intention that know why you do what you do, and ask your angels to help you be in a place and be brave enough and be strong enough that you can be an encouragement to other people that haven't reached that place that you have, because that's a big picture question there. That is, a very highly evolved soul would ask a question like that. And quite often, there are people that will be looking to you for a little bit of inspiration or courage, or why go on in a certain way. So let your heart guide you in the circumstance. And I feel like that will be your best positioning for the most part. And it's, our angels are not going to give us like a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan or that. I mean, there might be exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, things are going to unfold organically. And so you'll never really know, like when you're like, okay, this is the thing, this is the ticket. So I would say follow your bliss and follow what has heart, what has the most meaning for you. And always, it seems to me like the things that can be the most impactful for other people, it's going to require you to face some of your fears. Fears of looking foolish, fears of failure, fears of being different, fear of sticking out, of not being taken seriously. All kinds of fears are going to come up. And we have to face our fears, that in order really to make a difference, we have to face those fears and take action in spite of them. And we're not going to make any gains. If it was all just easy peasy, then the reward just, it wouldn't be meaningful to us. So that's a very good question. Thank you, Monica. Okay, so Donnie Charlotte House, they want to know if their brother is watching over them, and if he's upset about how he passed away. So, okay. What I feel like is that your brother is at peace on the other side and not feeling any pain right now, and just hoping that the family can be more at peace. And so he just says that that it's harder on you than it was on him, because he had the advantage of the help from the angels in the spirit world to help him understand what happened and what was going on with his soul journey, and why things unfolded at that time, and what his connection is to each other, to creation, and a little bit of insight about the big picture. So he is doing well on the other side. I don't know why, but I just see a big snowman that makes me think about Christmas, and just a big, like a big old snowman, and like a black kind of a vest on. And so he just feels like a big teddy bear kind of guy, but I just feel like he's trying his best to give you a hug and let you know he's okay on the other side. And he said not to cry for him because you'll see him again. And he just says that there are some things he wished he'd done different here in this lifetime. And he said we all have regret and we wish that we had done better here and there. But he says that overall that he learned a lot. And I also see a dog with him that puts me in mind of something with long hair, like a spaniel or a something with real pretty long hair. I just feel like there's a dog there with him as well. So he's doing good though on the other side. And I also see like a motorcycle. So I don't know what that's about, but I feel like he's happy to be able to visit today. I'm gonna get myself a drink here. Hang on, folks. Okay, so I have another question. Let me see, Mary K. Binder. Okay, so she had a dream that someone came. Oh, she had a dream that that someone wanted to hire her. I can't read that very good. I'm sorry, I can't make that out. It goes by too fast. I'm sorry. All right, so Mary K. Binder, what I get about your dream is that your spirit guides are just there, your angels and your guides are just taking the opportunity of the dream state to help you kind of work through some of the different things that are going on in your life. And sometimes our fears are particularly being played out, or things that we're really focused on, that they try to get our ideas, get our attention of what we're focused on. And often we are like, we're miscreating, like we're so worried about that something's going to happen, and we just keep dwelling on like getting fired or getting laid off or losing our job. And what happens is that instead of like protecting our job, it's kind of like we're telling the universe that we want to get fired or laid off. And it's like the universe says, well, okay, since that's all you're focusing on or thinking about, then we'll manifest that for you. So often our dreams try to give us a heads up, and they just try to get our attention and say, okay, you know that you are overly focused on a piece of business, and if you don't let go of that, then you run the risk of creating something that you don't want to be a part of. And this is a part of our self-mastery plan for our journey, and it's all about our mindset. And that's why I do so many mindset programs, is that when we can get our mindset on board with the dreams and things that we want to create, it makes it easier for us to manifest more powerfully. So in this circumstance, our angels are saying that we want to trust that no matter what happens in our journey, that we as a soul, that we have the ability to overcome the different setbacks, no matter how harsh they are. And to always know that really is, that's our only insurance policy, is our connection to creation, to our higher self and our faith and our ability to be able to overcome our challenges. And once we have that understanding, it makes it easier for us to move forward in life, because we're not vibrating to a state of loss, to a state of fear. Our vibration is stronger, it's more powerful, and we understand how our mindset helps us to keep it in harmony with what our desires are. So you just have to think about what you're afraid of losing. And there are times whenever it's like we're miscreating, and the universe is just wanting to get our attention there. So I hope that helped you out. And I wanted to be sure and invite everybody to sign up for my newsletter. At the top of this page, I send it out a couple of times a week, and I'll give you a heads up of whenever I do my Facebook Lives. They're usually on Wednesdays or Thursdays after lunch sometime, and I send them out just a couple of times a week to let you know where I have events. And I do have a lot of free events here on Facebook and in different places. And then I have my tea parties here at the ranch, and I do mediumship events. So sign up at the top of the page, and I'll give you the update for when I'm going to be doing some things. So if you have any questions, be sure and email me or post them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. Just wanted to thank everybody for stopping by today. It's awesome to see you all. I'm grateful to be able to spend a little time like this with you. It's a lot of fun. I love seeing your questions. And I will be announcing the winner for my angel reading. It's just going to give me I'm going to have to take a little bit of time to figure out who won. So, but I will post it here on my Psychic Medium MarVeena page. Thanks a lot, everybody, for stopping by. It was great to see you. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.